Hey guys, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I don't know how to start this video, and I can't believe I'm actually doing a video. It's kind of windy out here, so if you can barely hear me, my apologies. But I really want to do it outside because if you know me, you know I love being outside, and you know I love trees, flowers, all that. But y'all, I just started a YouTube channel. God wanted me to start this YouTube channel, like, I don't know, ever since I was like 17. But I didn't do it because I was scared, and I was basically talking myself out of it, even though it was set in my spirit that I need to do this YouTube video and start this YouTube channel. So basically my YouTube channel is going to be about faith, beauty, and so much more. So I want you guys to like, subscribe, and share. This one sounds so weird coming out. Like, subscribe, and share. I'm outside my apartment, and I currently live in Cali. I live in Cali, y'all. I'm so excited. So coming from Detroit, repping the dude. I'm like so happy that I'm out here. So I don't know where to go with this video. I kind of want to talk about my walk of faith with moving to California. So one day, I think it was my last week of school in Michigan, and I was just going through it, y'all, like mentally, like I just wasn't there. I wasn't able to do my best in school. I was blessed enough to pass. So much was going on at home, so much was just going on with myself. I wasn't happy with where I was. I wasn't happy with how I was living my life. I kind of felt like a failure. Honestly, I literally moved to California within like 2 weeks. 2 weeks top. I don't know what happened. I just woke up. I had this idea of not wanting to be in Michigan anymore. And so anyways, one day I decided to move to California, and I wasn't going to move to California as quickly as I did it. Honestly, I literally woke up and was like, Miss California Pageant. I'm like, Miss California Pageant. And so I'm like, what? So I'm getting dressed for work, and I'm looking up Miss California USA, and I'm realizing that the deadline is approaching. Also, it says that you have to live in California 6 months before you can compete, so be qualified. And so I was like, 6 months? Oh my gosh, I have to move out like within like 2 weeks. 3 weeks top, but 2 weeks was like good. And so I'm like trying to figure everything out. I'm so ready to put in my 2 weeks at my job. Although I loved working at my job. I worked at a gym. I loved it. I loved the people that were there. So saying goodbye to them, I was such a crybaby. I was a crybaby. I was so scared, y'all. Like, I couldn't believe that I was literally moving across the country, and I was doing it on my own. Like, I was leaving my family behind, my brothers, my parents, and I was just not used to this. And so, like, what I did was I contacted people at the pageant. I was like, hey, like, I want to move to Cali within this amount of time. Will I be able to qualify? And so it was like, yes. I did Miss Michigan USA, and honestly, I was never that girl who loved pageants. I never was that girl. I would look at pageants and be like, heck no, I'm not doing a pageant. Like, no. I grew up watching, what's that show with I think it's Toddlers and Tiaras, and I saw the moms, and I saw how the girls look. They look like plastic Barbie dolls. They had these fake teeth. Like, I was like, oh heck no, this is not about to be me. But one day my mom was just like, hey, have you ever thought about doing the Miss Michigan? And I was like, no, because honestly I thought pageants were like stuck up girls, like have this whole idea of being perfect, and I was like, I gave that up a long time ago, trying to be perfect. One day I just decided to do the Miss Oakland County pageant, and that was a preliminary to the Miss Michigan pageant. And so that was my first pageant ever, you guys, and I came out as the winner. And I'm looking at God like, what? I was like, okay. So I won this pageant. I wasn't expecting to win this pageant. So then that automatically got me to Miss Michigan. And so I get in Miss Michigan. And was I nervous? Yes. Was I ready to get it over with? Heck yes. I was so ready to get this pageant over with, because it was just so much to prep for a pageant. It's just so much stress. I had people donating, and I was just like stressing the heck out, like stressing. And honestly, it was because you have all these people investing money in you, and you don't want to disappoint them. I'm trying not to cry, but if you know me, I'm such a crybaby. But I had all these people believing in me. I was just like, you cannot fail. Like, you have to place. And so at the Miss Michigan pageant, I'm giving it my all. Like, I found out that I was the youngest one there, and also found out that I was like the one that didn't have any experience. Like all these other women, they say, oh yeah, it's my 7th year competing. Oh yeah, it's my 5th year competing. I've been doing pageants ever since this, that, and I'm like, oh, this is my first pageant. It was stressful. It was so stressful. And y'all, like, I made top 15, and when I tell you, I'm like, oh shoot, that's me. That's me, y'all, that's me. And I tell you, I was just so happy that I placed top 15. And then I just felt like a huge load was lifted off of my shoulders. And then I had contestants like coming up to me, and they were just like, it's your first year and you made top 15? And I was like, yeah. They're like, I was like, oh my gosh. And then some were just like, oh my gosh, you made top 15, congratulations, your first year. Girl, I wasn't able to do that until like my 4th year competing. And I'm just like, oh Lord. And so from there, I was just like, I kind of like pageants. And I like pageants because of how it's how I'm able to reach so many women and be able to help them and be that light that they need sometimes in their life, and be able to show them the love of God, you know. And that's the reason why I'm doing Miss California. Freaking stressful. Money was my number one problem, and I was stressing the heck out. I was like, okay, first off, Kaylin, you have to pack all your bags. You have to pack up your whole room. You have to find a place to stay. You have to pay for this, that, and the third. Like, it's a lot of moving across the country and moving to LA. I'm just like, what? How much? Like, gas here? Dumb expensive. So I have all these things that I want to pay for, and it's like, God, you just told me to do Miss California? Do you realize how much money that is? Like, do you? So let's rewind back. So when I was trying to decide if I want to move to Miss when I was trying to decide if I wanted to move to California, I saw this video of Tahaji P. Henson, and it said that she had moved to California with like, I think it was like $700 in her pocket and her toddler, right? And so I'm like, oh, if she can do it, I could do it. She only had like, what, $700 or $800, not something around there, $700 or $900, okay? But I looked at my bank account and I was like, oh, you for sure letting your fears hold you back from doing this, cause you're okay, like you good. And so I moved to California within 2 weeks, found a place to stay, and I'm just out here. I'm literally every day I'm out here on faith. Crazy thing is, God tested me with my faith, and you know, I'm not mad at all, because honestly, you have to be careful what you pray for. And honestly, my prayer was like, Lord, help my walk with you become stronger. Help me be that light that you need wherever I go, even if it's in a pageant, even if it's in a grocery store, even if it's at work. So I moved to California, you guys, and I'm putting in applications for work. Hold on, I know what y'all saying. You moved out there without a job? Like, what the heck were you thinking? That's a no-no. First off, before I moved out here to California, I was going to work at this gym, and the gym application was already set and everything. I get here, it all just glides down. They're like, oh, sorry, we had to fill your spot. I'm like, oh, cool. Couldn't get a phone call. Bet. So I'm just, you know, out here without a job. I'm still set because I saved up a lot of money and everything. Y'all, tell me why. It took me a while to get a job, and my money was going, like, it was right here, and it was just easily it was going. I was like, Lord, what is going on? I need a job. I was stressing the heck out. I started fasting and praying for a job. I applied to like so many stores in the mall. Your girl should not be working in the mall, because that paycheck, I'll be lucky enough if I could walk out the mall and still have that paycheck. But when I moved out here, oh, it was not hard for me to keep that paycheck. Let me tell you that. But so basically, I'm running out of money, and one day I remember in Michigan, I was going through something, right? And I was like, God, you about to make me run out of my money so that this test my walk with you. And I'm in California, and my money's running dry. And I was like, Lord, hold on. I'm in California. I'm by myself. Like, hold, pump the brakes. Pump it. So I'm like, God, you about to make me run low on my money. And this is how it's going to be. Like, my faith is about to get bumped up. It's about to be tested, but it's also about to get stronger, because now I don't have hardly anything. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. And so one week, I just had a feeling that a whole bunch of people were going to be calling me saying I got the job. One day I looked at my phone, and I had missed a couple of calls. Calling back, they're like, oh yeah, you got the job. So that week I started working. I was so happy because your girl was really low on money. I honestly didn't know how I was going to pay my bills. Like, I didn't want to ask my parents for money. I didn't want to ask my aunts for money. I didn't want to ask my friends for money. I didn't want to do that. I could have, but honestly, I just wanted to do it on my own. And y'all, I was working 4 jobs. I worked 4 jobs. I don't know how I did it. God literally worked out so that every schedule wouldn't collide. Like, I didn't have to talk to anyone and be like, oh, hey, can I come in an hour before or an hour earlier, or later because of my other job. Like, it literally all worked out, and that's how I knew it was God. Because how do you work 4 jobs and your times that you're scheduled at each one doesn't collide, you know? So I was working 4 jobs. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think that I moved to California as like a full-time model and I'm making big money. No, this is my story. So I moved to California. I'm working 4 jobs. I actually just quit one. I didn't like the atmosphere in there, and I was just like, you guys are not about to do this to me. So I quit one job. So now I'm working 3 jobs. Hopefully I'll be able to let this other one go. But yeah, modeling is going great out here. I'm getting more gigs ever since I moved out here. So I'm like, all right, thank you, God, you know. But honestly, I'm making this video because God told me it's time to tell my story. And I don't want this to be too long. It's going to be part 1, part 2, part 3. Like, this video is going to be a little bit about my walk of faith, and then like the next video might be like a beauty video, and then the third video is going to be like a part 2 of my story. But basically, I just want to let you guys know that you got to step out on faith, and when you do step on faith, it's going to be hard. Like, a lot of people don't realize that it's going to be super hard, and you're going to want to give up, and honestly, it's going to pay off in the long run. And I know there's so many women out there who are like me, and you have dreams and you literally talk yourself out of them. I would write out goals that I would do for the entire year, and I was that girl who would not complete them by the end of the year, and I was tired of being that. I was like, I need to be a woman of my word. I need to be a hustler. I need to go get what I want. The only person that's holding me back is myself. And I was just like, Caitlin, like, where do you see yourself? Where do you want to go? Go do it. Literally, just go do it. And so this journey with God has been so interesting, and I'm loving every moment of it. I do have my days where it's like, it's hard to pray. Like, I literally would go throughout my whole entire day and I'm gonna say a prayer. Fight every day, and it's just like, man, would I be able to, when will the day come where I could do what I love and not work for other people? And when will that day come where it's definitely a journey, and it's definitely opening my eyes up to a lot of things, including the God that I serve and who he is, and just my everyday walk. But it's getting dark out here. But y'all, hopefully you guys like this first video. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'll definitely do a part 2 to this video, because I feel like I was scattered like everywhere. I don't know if I'm gonna upload this video. We'll see. Basically, the moral of the story is step out on faith. Faith without works is dead, and you can't be praying and not putting in the work, you know. So I put in the work. I worked a lot, saved a lot, moved across the country, working 3 jobs now, and I'm out here trying to make it, because I know what my purpose is. I know that God got me, and I'm just ready to see where this goes from here. But alright, y'all, peace. It's getting dark out.